Greetings everyone, Mujin here. Today just want to give some general feedback and some changes to Pantheon that I think should be done. These are just my opinions. You can agree, disagree, voice your opinions in the chat box below and all that fun stuff. But yeah, this is just my general feeling, the state of the game right now. I'm going to say I am currently very much enjoying the game, and we're, basically getting to the start of the fourth month, somewhere in that region, because the early access started, the 15th of December, so yeah, start of the fourth month, I guess. So, with the current state of the game, these changes are just my opinion, of course. Again, as a reminder, I think melee should get a bit of some basic buffs, mainly in the category of casting interruption abilities. Right now, pretty much, I believe all melee, that includes the 3 tank classes and the 3 DPS classes, have some kind of cost and cooldown to their interrupt abilities. I believe they should, at the very minimum, take out the cost to all melee interruption spells. It's bad enough that we have to be at close range. If you can look at my deafening whisper, it's got a 3 meter range, which is basically melee range. So, and then there's a 20-second cooldown rate added onto it, and 150 essence. And like I said, every melee class has some kind of cost added to their cooldown and need to be basically in melee range to interrupt. There might be, I'm not totally sure on the ranger. They might have a ranged interrupt. I haven't played that class, so I haven't really looked at all their spells. So if I am mistaken on that one, and they have a ranged one, ranged addition to them, then they should have an additional cost. Anything that has more than melee range interrupt, I think, should have an added cost to it, because basically they have the longer range. And my feeling is, melee, if you gotta be up in their face and you're basically punching them to, or whatever their thing is, to interrupt, that it should be just a castable ability, along with the cooldown. I think 20 seconds is a bit much. I'm thinking somewhere in the range of as low as 6 seconds to maybe a high of 15 seconds. The pure melee DPS, like the monk and rogue, and then depending on if the ranger has to get up in melee range as well, they should have the faster cooldown rate for interrupt spells, whereas the tank should have the longer one. So be it as low as 6, and then the tanks get the 10, or if it's going to be 10 and 15, then it should be 10 and 15 respectively for the tanks, of course, getting the longer cooldown time. And then casters, like I said, they should definitely be 20 seconds, 20 to 30 second cooldown rate for their interrupts, along with the added cost to mana that they have to use as well. Unless they want to give up their ranged ability to then have to run up and actually have to get in melee range to interrupt, then they too can have the no cost interrupt. But I doubt that casters are going to want to get up in melee range if they don't have to. I'm not sure about casters, or I mean, I already mentioned casters. I mean healers. I think they too have a range to it as well, but some like the cleric can get a bonus for being in melee range, so maybe they could have at least the tank version of the interrupt ability if they're being basically put in a melee range to get their bonuses and all that shit. Just my thoughts on the interrupt spell. Other changes. I haven't played all the tank classes, but between the Dire Lord and the Paladin, I'm very much favoring the Dire Lord because from my playing through of the Paladin, I got to what, 15 or 16, and they have, I believe, 3 different resources they have to manage, and I think that's a bit much for a tank class. I'm not even sure how the third one, I think it has like 3 dots on the side. I don't remember what it's called. But it's kind of silly, in my opinion, to have more than 2 resources to worry about, especially as a tank. So, if they get rid of that for the Paladin, well, I'm sure some people will be like, oh, that's a great resource. Well, you're welcome to that opinion, but for me, I think Paladins having that extra resource to have to manage seems a bit much. And I think their stun is kind of dependent on it. And I haven't really figured out how it regens, or if it's just a timer thing that, yeah, that one I'm not, though. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'm not totally sure, but I just remember there being like 3 dots added on to the side of my nameplate here, or stat plate, whatever you want to call it. Health plate indicator shows all your resources and fun shit. But there's a third one that has like 3 circles or whatever, and it manages some other resources. I just remember it being tied to my ability to stun and a few other abilities. Like I said, again, I think a third resource on tanks is kind of silly. I think 2 is just fine. I think essence and readiness for the Dire Lord, and whatever the 2 versions are for Warrior and Paladins, I think that's more than enough, where they kind of feedback into each other, along with having to take damage for those resources to regen. I believe it's mostly, at least for the Dire Lord, it's essence generations, also dependent on taking damage while doing certain attacks with it that also help. Other things that I could think they need to work on. think they need to. I'd like to see them upgrade, or give better bonuses to group fighting. Be it with, like, I'm focusing on the more soloable mobs. I think there should be, maybe add on like 5% to each person that you add into your group. But I don't think you want to make it to where you're getting huge bonuses on the more soloable mobs, so maybe cap it out at like 10% bonus with 3 people, because you'd have yourself and then 2 others. That'd be half the group. So I think on solo mobs, cap it out at a 10% bonus, so that you're not seeing like huge groups of 6 just plowing through solo mobs. I mean, they could still do it, and they probably will, but just to help encourage people to be more than solo players, some kind of bonus like that, even on the soloable mobs, would help encourage people to group more. And then on the group mobs, I think, yeah, they should do the 5% all the way up to full groups getting a 25% bonus on the group mobs. Would help encourage people to do those mobs even more, and all that fun stuff. Can't do everything based on loot. You don't want to get it just into that mindset of loot grinding, which is where pretty much every MMO ends up anyways, because, well, what do you got at the end? Raiding mobs for loot, and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, that's basically my opinion on how to increase group play. Let's see, what else? Maybe they, another thing they could probably add in is some kind of, EXP bonus for actually exploring, so an exploration experience bonus. Not exactly how sure or how to exactly implement that, but could add in, like I said, an exploration EXP bonus. I think that would help encourage people to move around and explore. And again, to help encourage a little more group play, maybe add 5 to 10% bonus, so you can encourage a couple of friends to go with you, and you want to go with friends as well. Let's see. Oh, another thing that I just thought of it because I'm looking at the camp here. The loot boxes, or whatever you want to call it, chests, whatever, that spawn in camps like this. Leave right now. Invisibility does not break when looting those chests, so basically, what is it, level 16 or 18 wizards can go pretty much with impunity around to any zone they want and loot all the chests. And unless you're actually standing next to it, you're not gonna notice that it was looted until it disappears in front of your face, and you're gonna be like, what the hell happened to the chest? It was just there, blah blah blah. the basic solution would be that if you're opening a chest, then it should break your invisibility, stealth, whatever. But I'd like to add in an extra mechanic to also discourage people from just randomly just waiting for you to pull whatever mob so that they can go basically claim jump the chest. And my solution to that is all the mobs like in the area around it, they'd all have a key to open the chest, every one of them. So then it becomes a race, but at least somebody has skin in the game that they actually have to kill something to open the mob. So you get the key, you get to open the chest. I think that'll do it for this video. That's just my basic thoughts on some improvements they could do to Pantheon. Hopefully make it better. Yes, they do need to work on zones, get more mobs, crafting material and all that stuff added into the game, more dungeons, that basic stuff. But these are just general thoughts to help group play and just better feel to the game, in my opinion, of course. Just remember that these are my opinions. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you around.